It was November 2008, early November, first Tuesday of November. I forget the exact date. And we went out and voted. I went out and voted. Me and my wife at the time, we went out and voted. I was working at General Motors. I was 31. 31 years old. Wow. So now y'all know how old I am. I was 31. Um, yeah. And I remember going back to work. I remember watching the election that Tuesday. At GM, we get election day off. It's a holiday. We get the day off. It's a paid day off. So I had the day off. I think my wife at the time, she was working at a group home or something. Yeah, like a group home. So I think she might have had to work, but I had the day off, so I went and voted early. So we watched the election that night, and when he won that election, all I was thinking about was the future. I was thinking about years down the road, just like right now, I'm thinking about years down the road with Trump in office. But yeah, so of course we knew, everybody that voted for Obama, we knew that it was a whole lot of other people that didn't vote for Obama. So of course, and we could kind of like guess, you know what I'm saying? We could just look at their face. Today feel like one of them kind of days. That day after the day after Obama got elected, no white person wanted to make eye contact with no black person. I remember they didn't want to speak. They didn't want to say a word. They was fuming. Like, that was a day I would never forget. That day. The energy and the hate. Ooh, you could just feel it. Like, you could touch it. Right? That was a day that I knew that it was going to be a long, hard fight. Because, that was the day that all of these different things that we see now, the splintering of this country, that was the day that I knew that this country was about to get broke wide open. Split. Crack wide open. All the lies and all of the illusion of what this country was, I knew that day marked the beginning of what we see now. Right? So you just had to be there, man. If y'all too young, if anybody on this that watches this is, because 08, the people born in 08 will be 18 this year. So some people wasn't even born then, that might be watching this video. Or if you was real little, you don't remember. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I remember that day being like a day like today. I remember speaking to every white person I seen that day on purpose, going out my way to speak to them. And if they had a little nasty attitude, I remember saying stuff like, Obama about to put y'all in slavery. I went to work that day and I said that to my coworkers. I said, slavery on the way. And I wasn't even playing. I was serious. But what I was talking about was mental slavery. You know, to anybody that would like respond, because a lot of my coworkers, they knew me as a loudmouth that'll say crazy shit anyway. So a lot of my coworkers, they wouldn't even respond back, you know. But for the ones that did, I would tell them, you already a slave. You've been a slave. You just didn't know it. But now you about to find out how much of a slave you've been. Your ancestors been a slave to this system. Mental slavery. And that was the beginning of me that was the beginning of all of us knowing, like, it was like red pill time. You know, it was red pill time. Because that was always a pipe dream that a black person would become the president. It was always like a running joke too. It was like in movies portrayed like something that, you know, that really couldn't happen. You know, just, oh, let's just do the most outlandish shit. Let's say the president is black. You know, I remember MC Breed in No Future in Your Front said if he was the president, he would paint the White House black. You know what I'm saying? And so that's my hometown hero, MC Breed. And I just remember when he said that line, I'm like, you know, dang, that's crazy. That's a crazy thought, you know. So, and, you know, like even Tupac, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always thought that if Tupac had lived, he might become the president. He was just a natural born leader. But Obama, you know, he gets the presidency, and I knew that all hell would break loose that day. And I knew they started painting that narrative that night. I remember they started saying the gays and the blacks. The gays and the blacks. So that's the first day that I kind of like really started paying attention to the civil rights, what the civil rights movement was being hijacked, you know, by a lifestyle, you know, a lifestyle of people that kind of like hijacked it. And so I was like, oh, dang, maybe Obama really not. So I don't know, I started realizing like, oh shit, he ain't for black people, he for them people. Them the people that, you know, seemed to me like they was way more organized than black people in this country. That, you know, LGBTQ movement, you know, for the most part, you gotta think, you know, if you living in that kind of lifestyle, if you got that kind of lifestyle, you probably got a lot more money than a heterosexual, because you ain't got no kids. So you know, that LGBTQ movement seemed to me on the surface, it's a lot of very successful people that got a whole lot of money that can fund a movement. And they funded that movement, and they galvanized, and they organized, and, you know, and I ain't taking nothing away from them people, but the point of it is Obama had their agenda, you know, it seemed to me. And that was the first time I heard them grouping us with them, like the gays and the blacks. And I'm like, wow, they grouping God with, you know, the devil, basically, like a wicked lifestyle, like something that's not of God. I don't know. That was just my take on that when Obama got elected. But the racial component of Obama being elected, I knew that, like I said, when I went to work the next day, I was trolling my coworkers by saying that Obama about to put y'all back in slavery. So I was trolling them real hard too. And I wish we had social media like we do now back then. I really wish that the day after Obama got elected, we had social media so you could touch this, you know, the pulse of so people could see it, so we could document how we able to document like what happened last night or yesterday with that lady in Minnesota, how we're able to document all of this and get people reaction right there. You know what I mean? Right then and there, and have it documented. But we didn't have it. We didn't have social media like we do today in 08. I think it might even was created that day. I mean, that year. So, but, you know, moving forward, I just knew that the racial component to it was going to be the defining moment, the defining thing about Obama being elected. I knew that. So I knew we was in for a long, long fight. I knew we was in for a long fight. Yeah. I knew that Obama, you know, being elected, I knew that everything that he stood for, which is hope, I knew that it was, on the flip side, it was going to be people that believed in no hope. No hope. Like, you know, no hope for anybody black or anybody that's, you know what I'm saying, any non-white person. So that was the defining moment. You know, that was where you kind of seen where your white Cobra, as black people, as black Americans, we seen where our white counterparts was at. Like we couldn't ignore it. You know, we couldn't ignore it away. So that was a defining moment. I remember just being some that was so crystal clear. Dang, why is it glass in every corner? Oh, that's not glass. That's salt. Let me show y'all this. Y'all see that? I thought that was glass. That's salt. We here in Michigan, they use blue salt. I'm wondering, at every corner, there's a bunch of, I'm thinking glass. So yeah, what you have here, man, is just a bunch of, what you have with Obama getting elected and all of that is, it created this mess that we in now. That day after Obama got elected was the precursor to everything we seeing now. If it wasn't for Obama getting elected, Trump wouldn't even be in office. None of this would be going on. So all of that hate that was built up in them 8 years that Obama was in there, mind you, Obama inherited one of the biggest messes ever. An ongoing war, housing crisis, a recession. The world was fucked up when Obama inherited that, and he pretty much brought it all back. We was pretty much, everything was smooth. I remember when he election day 2016, I was buying my first house. I closed on my first house election day 2016. That was my closing date. I never will forget it. So I went from being married with 4 kids the day Obama got elected to 8 years later when Trump got elected, divorced with a new woman and a baby on the way. I had a baby on the way the day that Trump got elected. So my whole, and like I said, being a homeowner. So my whole world just like skyrocketed in them 8 years that Obama got elected. And in between the 8 years that Trump got elected the first time and him getting elected the second time, I bought another house. I closed on another house election day 2024. Yeah. I closed on another house 2024. It's crazy, man. These 8 years, 8-year intervals. So yeah, cycles, man. You know, just cycles. But yeah, that day after Obama got elected, like I said, that was the precursor to everything we seeing now. Who is this? I just saw. So when you're in an all-black neighborhood and you see a white dude in the truck, in the pickup truck, that's suspicious. I should go question him. Ask him what the fuck is he doing around here. Damn. What the hell? Yeah, I just kind of knew that was going to happen. Damn. Neighbor's house and got burnt up. Shit. Damn. Mm-mm-mm. What up? Damn. You from the cleanup company? Huh? Oh. So you work for the township? Huh? Oh, the state. Oh, got you.